Prisoner of Zenda. Chapter 1. To Zenda. I was having my breakfast with Rose, my sister-in-law, on a sunny Sunday morning when she suddenly began to question me. "When are you going to take life more seriously and find yourself a job, Rudolph Ressendale?" "Why should I do so, Rose?" I said confidently. "I know I'm 29, but I haven't been lazy all my life, dear. And even if I had, why shouldn't I enjoy a life of idleness? I'm lucky enough to enjoy a fine social position. I'm wealthy and I come from a good family. Moreover, I'm the brother of Lord Belson." Rose didn't seem happy about my remarks concerning the family. Anger flashed across her face, but to be fair, I hadn't intended to hurt her feelings. Moreover, I hadn't wasted my life doing nothing, as Rose thought. I had attended a German school and university. I was fluent in 5 languages. I had mastered horse riding, and I was an expert in both guns and swords. "The difference between you and your brother is not only your red hair, Rudolph. Robert, your brother, knows there are responsibilities that come with the social position. You should respect your family's social position, not use it as an excuse to do nothing with your life," said Rose. I couldn't help reminding Rose of the reason for the red hair I was privileged to have growing on my head. It all went back to 1733, when my Aunt Emilia, whose picture was hung on the walls of guest rooms, married a member of the royal Ruritanian family, the Elfbergs. "Forget about Rudolph and let's talk seriously. I have a great offer for you," Rose said. "What is it, Rose?" I asked impatiently. "Sir Jacob Borrowdale, who will be an ambassador in 6 months, is looking for an assistant. You would be perfect for the job," Rose said. At this point, I couldn't deny that Rose was extremely persuasive and had a way of making her requests impossible to refuse. I decided to take advantage of the opportunity she was offering me. However, in the 6 months before my new position started, I decided to go to Ruritania to attend the coronation of my distant relative, Rudolf V of the Elfberg dynasty. It had never been my practice to tell people where I really go on my many journeys, and as I didn't want to be opposed in this case, I told them that I was going on a tour in the Austrian Alps. Rose wasn't very pleased on hearing that, so I added I was going to write a book about the social problems in the country, which indeed satisfied her. A relative of mine advised me to visit Paris, especially the Grand Hotel, if I were to visit France. I decided to meet up with 2 old friends and we spent the night together, chatting about the good old days. The next morning, we all went to the station, where I saw an attractive-looking lady of about 30 years of age. My friend told me that she was Madame Antoinette de Maubin, a rich lady traveling alone on the same train as me. He added that she was a special friend of Duke Michael, the half-brother of Rudolf V, the forthcoming King of Ruritania. Although we were traveling on the same train, we never met during the trip. At the Ruritanian borders, the officers appeared astonished while checking my papers and kept staring at me and my red hair for a reason I couldn't work out. I read in the morning paper that the coronation had been brought forward by 2 days, so all the hotels in Ruritanian capital, Stralsund, would be fully booked or charged at a higher rate. I decided to get off the train at Zenda, a small town 10 kilometers from the borders, where I could enjoy a walk in the forest and take a look at the famous castle of Zenda and the immense mansion adjoined to it. As I stepped out on the train platform at Zenda, I realized that Madame Antoinette must have decided to continue her trip to Storsaw. An old lady and her 2 daughters ran the small inn in Zenda, where I decided to spend my night. The old lady expressed a great interest in the king's brother, Duke Michael. She strongly felt that he deserved to be their king rather than his brother, who was like a stranger, having lived abroad most of his life. Michael, on the other hand, promised them a better life and a good future. "Look, Mum, doesn't he look like our king?" shouted one of the 2 daughters excitedly, pointing at my red hair. "How do you know? Where have you seen the king before?" asked the mother curiously. "It was Johann, the Duke's servant. He told me all about the king and what he looks like," explained the daughter eagerly. "The Duke has invited the king to his hunting lodge, here in the forest of Zenda," added the daughter. "From there, he will go to Storsaw, where the coronation will take place." The old lady explained to me that the king and his brother Michael could never be friends, as they both wanted the same throne and the same woman, Flavia, the king's cousin. "Quite, Mum. Talk of the devil," whispered one of the 2 daughters, pointing towards the door. "Good evening, ladies," said Johann, who stopped still when he saw me, sitting in the corner. "This is Mr. Rudolph. He's our guest for the night," said the eldest girl, addressing Johann, who wasn't used to seeing red hair outside the Elfberg royal family. "Sorry, sir, for being confused when I saw you," Johann said. "You look just like King Rodolph." "Never mind. This is the second time I made the same impression today." I laughed. "Johann, this gentleman won't be able to attend the coronation because he can't find a place to stay in Storsaw," one of the girls said. "Well, sir, maybe I can help you out. My sister lives beside the royal palace, and I'm sure she would be happy to let you stay at her house to get a good view of the big event," said Johann. "Thank you, Johann. I gladly accept your offer," I said, then bid them all a good night before leaving the room to go upstairs to my room.